right here inside Resorts World. Enjoy your afternoon, everybody.
Looking like a D3. Maybe he got it from Disney. That's the marquee fight of the weekend. Teofimo Lopez in his return taking on a Pedro Campa. He's got very heavy feet, so if he gets knocked out, then it's probably going to be real ugly. That's going to be on Top Rank on ESPN at 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be here streaming during the main event. How you guys doing? We got a lot of things to talk about today in the next hour or so. What are you guys up to? How do you feel about this summer? I guess you can say, normally, for those who don't know, here in the States, and, you know, we're blessed to have an international audience here who watches our videos. But for those who don't know, for me, put it this way, for me, the summer is over September the 1st. Even though, fall is not until about September 21st. For me, summer is over September the 1st. So when I look at this summer schedule, I just be like, you know, for hardcores, we've been able to find some hidden gems. You know what fight was really disappointing? Ray Vargas versus Mark Maxeo. You know, Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez, that was disappointing. But this summer's been, you know, but the good thing is revving up. You know how certain shows have like season premieres? I look at Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez as like the season premiere of boxing season. And it's just like the first few episodes just been like boring as fuck. And you're just like, okay, like when is this show going to pick up? You know, like I heard this shit is good, but when is it going to pick up? So, you know, would have been our last few weeks of marquee fights. You had Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez. You had the return of Vergil Ortiz versus Michael McKinson, punched him right in the stomach. Blair Cobbs beat up. Well, he didn't beat up, but he got a win over Maurice Hooker. And then you have the return of Teofimo Lopez against Pedro Campa. Yeah. Yeah. You know? But next week, get my nips hard. Excuse my language. This is a show for mature audiences. Next week kind of brings a smile to my face. We got Adrien Broner taking on Omar Figueroa. Ooh. Ooh. Is that not like seductive? Because if Adrien Broner wins, it's going to be like, my God, he finally let his hands go. He finally let his hands go. Because a lot of people feel he's going to lose to Omar Figueroa because Omar Figueroa is just going to outpunch him. And then you have Oleksandr Usyk versus Anthony Joshua, which we're going to talk about later on in the video. I got a bone to pick. You know, and then September, Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Elisa Baumgartner versus Michaela Mayer. That, I want to see Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall more. By the way, we got some footage of Clarissa Shields. I got to upload. We got footage from Susie Q Ramadan interview Big J did. I got to upload. But I'm more interested in seeing Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall than Canelo versus Golovkin 3. That's just me. That's just me. You know, and I'm a degenerate like that. But no, that's some boxing seduction right there. That's high erotica. But overall, nothing's really really sticking out. You know? Now, I guess the first topic we should talk about is Teofimo. I think we got to talk about it because people have been talking. You know, there used to be this saying, if you used to watch wrestling back in the mid to late 90s, like the early 2000s, where like if the NWO, you know, Scott Hall, Hollywood Hogan, Big Sexy Kevin Nash, if they would have come to you and be like, you know something, brother, we've been having some talks about you in the back. We don't like the way you've been moving. You see what I'm saying? There's been some talks about Teofimo floating around. Like people be like, yo, what is up with him? Has he been a little different over the last like year or so? Like, are you getting kind of like some vibes? Like, you know, I'm not one to judge. I'm a quirky ass dude and I can be a bit abrasive and I'll cuss somebody out in a heartbeat. But it just seemed like something different about him. Is it just me? Not any actual person, Stinky. I'm talking about, you know, like social media. Like people been looking like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, what be up with TEO? What's going on with him? You know, why he doing these like interviews? Why he acting all like a weirdo? I'm not saying that. I'm just the voice of the people. You see what I'm saying? I'm just the voice of the people, but I've been noticing, like watching his interviews and everything, and I be thinking like, yo, like, you know, something wrong. You know, I'm hoping he getting the help that he need. Now, if you remember, let me see if I can pull that up. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the post-fight interview from Teofimo and George Kambosos. That's what I'm talking about, D3. Like, you know, seemed like some shit going on. And, you know, I'm all for therapy. T-Street's in therapy. You know, like T-Street doing real good in life. You see what I'm saying? You know, I told you guys last month I took a lot of heat because I predicted that Javier Fortuna was going to beat Ryan Garcia because of voodoo. I dabbled in voodoo years ago, and it just messed me up real bad. I left it alone. But I guess what I'm saying is, you know, like I'm hoping dude getting, hold on, let me see, Lopez, Kambosos, post fight. I'm hoping brother getting the help that he need because he just seemed a little fucked up, you know? Here, let's go back and listen to the post-fight interview. Now, he did say, and there was rumors leading into the fight, that he was having some issues with his wife. You know, that was already in the public forum. Then, you know, and I know all too well, you know, about how it can affect you if you're a real father when you don't see your kid. So he was talking about he wasn't able to see his kid and all that. I'm like, whoa, bro, You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, anybody, if you need family court advice, like, I'm your guy. If you need family law, child custody and all that shit, I'm your guy. But that's the first thing I thought about. Like, wait a minute. I hope nobody, I'm just saying. I'm just speculating. That's my right. My bad, James. I'm sorry. Listen, there's going to be some videos. Y'all going to be like, yo, this guy's the fucking man. He know what he talking about. And there's going to be other videos you may tune in. I may be on a rant. I may be, you know, talking about voodoo. You know, I may be talking about like how I predicting that Chavez Jr. can beat Canelo because he's going to pay for the sins of his father and all kind of shit. So, but at the end of the day, we talk boxing. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I just was thinking to myself, like, man, I'm hoping dude is all right, you know? You know, because let's listen to the post-fight interview. Let's go back down memory lane. So for those who are just tuning in, we're talking about the Teofimo Lopez card, which is, in fact, let's go watch the face-off again for those who want to see it. In fact, let's listen. Listen to, if you didn't see it, this was from 4 p.m. This was about 2.5 hours ago. And he didn't speak for that long, no more than 5 minutes or so. But this is from the final press conference. Here, let's start right here. So yeah, take your time out, like the video, subscribe. We are here Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Those times are subject to change, but you know, as boxing is revving up, put it this way: if it's a fight like last week with Vergil Ortiz versus Michael McKinson, listen, I've been covering motherfucking boxing on YouTube for 10 years, man. You know, like certain fights like that, it's like I'm not gonna put my all into it anymore. You dig? But a week like this, you know, I'm like, all right, I ain't doing shit else. You know, just did some food prep. So, all right, you know what? We're gonna do the full fight week coverage. But anyway, let's go. Listen, this was from the press conference not even 2 hours ago for Teofimo Lopez versus Pedro Campa, which is going to be on Top Rank on ESPN. The card's going to be starting at 6:40 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern on regular ESPN, it's going to open up with Xander Zayas versus, Lord, I forgot who the guy's fighting, Elias. It's down below in the description box. What I do for you, here, let me show y'all this. Y'all gonna watch this shit. You see this? This is the description box. When I tell y'all to go down there, you see how it has my link tree? This has all of my social media. You can click that to follow me on Twitter, you know. No, you're gonna listen to this before we start. You know, here's the website, FightView360.com. It has all of our rankings. Mikey updates those rankings monthly in accordance to the sanctioning bodies. And he told me something about, you know, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is everything you need is down here. Look, I even put the significant fights of the boxing schedule. No, we're going to go full screen on your ass. You see this? You see how I put, you know, upcoming fights, and I put the Showtime PBC significant fight schedule all the way to Wilder versus Helenius, top ranked fights in Sky Sports. You see how I put these cards? I do this for you, the people. And then look, I type all of this shit. And then look, I even do past fight results. So you go down there, you see this. This is a disgrace. Y'all need to like the video. This is disgraceful. Y'all think I'm doing this for my health? That's the least you can do is like the video or subscribe, or don't do it. This is your right. Anyway, let's go back down memory lane. This is from the press conference earlier.
How special is it to you to be part of the...
But yeah, basically, I'm just saying, like, the TEO just seem a little bit off. You know, I'm wondering if he's one of those guys. I'm wondering if he's one of those guys where, like, the loss really affected him.
Top-ranked family and have these weekends and being able to experience this this incredible weekend of fighting.
Man, it's amazing. It's a blessing to me. 19 years old. Never.
My bad to keep interrupting. I got my eye on him. I've covered the Xander Zayas fight before. And I've said this before. You know you can spell his name 2 different ways. His name is spelled, damn it, I always forget. It starts with, you can spell his name, right? Hold on, let me make sure, because I always mess it up. Okay, it's spelled, where's it at? So his name is spelled Xander, Xander. Zayas, Z-A-Y-A-S. But you can swap the X and the Z and it still be the same shit. So you can spell it Z-A-N-D-E-R-X-A-Y-A-S. You know how I know? Because I'm always typing that shit and it be fucking me up and I always forget. But anyway, I just thought that, you know, let me stay on topic. Thanks for watching.
Never imagined this ever in my life. 19 in the press.
But I was saying that I got my eye on him. I'm going to be covering him. You know, he's creeping up on the ranking. Now, right now, he's weighing in very close to the 154-pound division, but he started his career at 147. But you know how it goes with those prospect fringe contenders. They won't be weighing in at their weight. So I'm wondering, I think he's going to be a 147-pounder.
Conference, my third fight as a co-main event in a great card. Teofimo Lopez comeback. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here. I'm happy, and I'm hungry to put on a show Saturday night. And I'm going to show the world why I'm the best prospect in boxing right now.
I love it. And you just mentioned the comeback.
No bullshit. His name be fucking me up.
Lopez, Pedro Campa, thank you for joining us. It is our main event Saturday night. Teo, I want to talk with you right out of the gate. It's been almost 2 years since you fought on ESPN. How special is it for you to be back at this brand new resort headlining ESPN?
Well, first and foremost, want to thank God, want to thank him for all of us being here today, first and foremost on that part. I mean, at the end of it all,
I don't know.
It's too much energy. I feel like that's what it is. Anywho, like I said.
Somebody in the chat earlier said they only did that because they ain't trying to hear all the excuses and the bullshit.
Man, it feels
It was really me that said that.
great. You know, it's great to be back here, back at home, ESPN, on the platform, the greatest platform in the world, really, and alongside with Top Rank. You know, for everybody being here, man, it's Vegas for the weekend. So, hey, let's just have a great time. Let's put on a show for everybody, and I can't wait to show everyone why Teofimo is the greatest of all time.
You mentioned Vegas weekend. Are there distractions when you come to Las Vegas, or is it pretty easy for you to follow camp and go right through fight week?
Nah, true champion never gets distracted. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of it all, man, this ain't my first rodeo. You know, 21 years in the game, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, so do your research. See it. 5-time world champion. We just here to go and dominate and do what we always do, entertain.
Pedro Campa, this fight has been billed as...
Watched a little bit of tape on Pedro Campa. He's got very heavy feet. So to me, you know, that makes me think that if he gets knocked out, it's going to be ugly, like body twisting ugly. But as I was saying before we listened to the rest of TEO, it wasn't that long. You know, he just don't seem, you know, like here, if that makes sense. You know, like, I don't know, man. I'm hoping, you know, that, you know, because remember, he was having issues with his pop. He was having issues with his wife. You know, and then he was going a period of time without seeing his kid. But he did talk about it, and I'm getting off track. Let me go listen. Let's go listen to this post-fight DAZN interview, not from George, but from TEO, and what he had to say after the fight, which was pretty delusional.
Hey, hell of a fighter, but I won tonight, man. Everybody...
Here we go, back down memory lane. And then George Kambosos just looked like shit against Devin Haney. I am not looking forward to that rematch, but Big J's going. So, you know, I mean, you know, that's a plus.
Listen, true champ, forget the rest. Yo. You got, hey, hell of a fighter, but I won tonight, man. Everybody know that. The referee raised my hand. I won tonight. I don't care what anybody says, yo. I won tonight. Hey, at the end of the day, I've been here. I've done that. I want to thank God. I want to thank everybody that came out tonight. Look, I ain't no sore loser. I take my wins like I take my losses. At the end of the day, man, I'm a true champion. I came out here. I did what I had to do, and I went out there and I did my best. Yo, I don't care what anybody says, man. I am as real as they come. And watch, this is the takeover, man. We don't stop. We keep coming. Yo, at the end of the day, man, I love you all. I won this fight.
Teofimo, you believe coming in that you were going to be able to end this fight early. You get knocked down in the first round. What was your mindset going back to the corner?
It's good. Good shot. All right. Time to wake up. Time to do the thing what I got to do. After that, man, it is what it is. It's boxing. But you know what, man? I know what it is. I know how these people work. Referee knew I won tonight. Everybody knew I won tonight. And I'm just thankful.
Did you believe this was a close fight going into those last 2 rounds?
No, I don't. I don't believe it was a close fight at all. I believe that at the end of it all, I scored 11-2. Well, 10-2.
You believed you won 10 of the 12 rounds?
Yes, I did.
George?
Listen, you got to move up, bro, because you're a bit delusional, brother, all right? Listen, I got the belts. I won the fight. I won it clean and clear. Look at your face. But you know what? I give you respect. I came here. I gave you the respect in the ring, and I won the fight. I got the belts. Take it like a champ. Move on. We do it again in Australia. 80,000 people, me and you, brother. What a war we'll have in Australia. Let's do it again.
Teofimo, does doing it again in Australia appeal to you?
Right now, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna spend time with my son. I haven't spent time with my boy in a long time. I mean, he was just born 11 days ago, and that's really what matters to me. Family, man. Hey, to everybody, I apologize in advance, man. To all those, I wanted to be the inspiration for all of them, for the new generation, and I still am, man. Everything happens for its reasons. I believe in God, man. I have faith in him. I ain't scared about this, and I ain't sad about this.
Teofimo, you have nothing to apologize for. That was a tremendous fight, one way or the other.
As I was saying, I just hope that, ain't shit wrong, because he been looking a little and sounding a little fucked up in media,
Stay focused on the gentleman to my left.
None of it is possible unless we finish the job. You know what I mean? This guy is in front of me to stop my dreams and stop everything that we're shooting for. You know what I'm saying? Every time I go out there in the ring, I'm risking everything. I'm risking my life. We double down every time. When it comes to me, it's just me versus me, no one else. And I thank God for that. He's always in my corner. And I look forward to just shutting a lot of mouths up, open their mouths up too. So that way we could just keep going and letting them know the takeover, it's not don't call it a comeback now. It's a takeover.
It's the takeover. It's almost 9 months since your first and only defeat. What did you take away from that experience? How has it made you not only a better fighter, but a better person? And what we're going to see Saturday night?
I love how God works in mysterious ways. You know what I'm saying? I've accomplished so much within my 5 years in the pro game. You know what I'm saying? And that's all from the grace of the Lord. So I just look at it like this, man. My first loss, yeah, cool. This ain't my first loss. This is actually my 21st loss, if we count the amateurs as well. So I always bounce back. I'm always that type of person. You know what I'm saying? The first step to success is failure. And tonight, Saturday night, definitely a lot of people are going to tune in on that, man. I just want to be someone that's going to inspire others, inspire the new generation that's on the rise, and just perform at my best.
La Roca.
See, I guess what I'm saying is he just doesn't sound like as confident as he used to sound, like really. And looking at the 140-pound division, all right, let's just talk about it a little bit. You have Josh Taylor, who currently is holding, well, actually no more, but he's no longer the WBC champion. He's no longer the WBA champion. Damn dog. The IBF is now looking like he was ordered to fight Jeremias Ponce. He's an Argentine fighter. But I expect for Josh Taylor, this was today, I expect for Josh Taylor to vacate. So therefore, the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF are currently free. And he only has the WBO. Now, right now, Teofimo, for some reason, I feel like Teofimo is going to fight Honor Barboza next if he beats this Pedro Campa. Here's Pedro Campa, by the way. Campo. No, it's Pedro Campa. Yeah, I'm tripping. I knew I had it right. Hold on, hold on. But this is the type of dude. Remember how people felt about, some people felt about Navarrete and Dogbay the first time they fought? When Navarrete was like that fish out of water kind of over here with that big ass coat on, if you don't remember the press conference. I wonder if this dude can come over here and beat Teofimo. After all, Teofimo lost to George Kambosos. And then he even got dropped by George Kambosos. And look how George Kambosos just got dominated by Devin Haney. That is true. Campa's feet is very slow. Let's go look at a little bit of tape. for you, the people. Let's see if we can find you some tape. Where's the tape? Let's watch some tape, see what's going on. Here we go. We ain't gonna listen to the music though. But here go your boy. Who picking Campa? Y'all got Campa for the win? He just got very, see how he have them feet heavy? So if he get knocked out, his body gonna be probably twisting all around and shit. It's gonna be ugly. And you know what? I think I sold his card too. Man, I miss boxing Azteca. Remember that shit? What happened to that? They lost their money? See, you know, he's just like, he's the type of guy that it looks like if he gets you hurt, then you're in some real trouble because all these heavy, hard looping shots. But dude, feet ain't moving. They just stuck. Look, them feet ain't moving. So therefore, he's going to be there to be hit big time. It's going to be ugly. Yeah, I did notice that from what Arnold Barboza has been saying is that he's been trying to get the Teofimo fight, but it's looking like Top Rank's going to force it. Remember how a lot of people, include myself, was saying that with the way Teofimo was treating Top Rank when he got that purse bid from Triller, that it was going to make him pay. You know, he can't just go back with the same like clout. He was kind of disrespectful for a promotional company and which he had signed to deal with. So I don't think they're going to cut him no breaks. Like he getting this fight with Pedro Campa, and then I think it's going to be him versus Arnold Barboza unless he tries to fast track to a title. And remember, you got 3 titles that are free. Well, actually, no, let me explain it. Alberto, Puello, and Gutierrez Akhmedov, they're going to be fighting for the WBA title on the undercard of Adrien Broner and Omar Figueroa next week. So that's the WBA. You've had Jose Cepeda, right, be ordered to fight Regis Prograis for the vacant WBC, right? For whatever reason, Jose Ramirez is not, he dropped out of it. And now, since the IBF has ordered Josh Taylor to fight Jeremiah Ponce, Josh Taylor can't travel. The rumors are he can't travel from the MTK fighter. But will he vacate? Will they be able to get Ponce to come to, you know, well, actually, Josh Taylor's supposed to be fighting Jack Catterall again. But let's say he vacates, right? Then you're going to have Ponce versus Sabril Matias. They've been talking about, like, that's been circulating around in boxing circles. So realistically, Teofimo, depending on what's going to happen with Liam Perro and Brock Jarvis, Liam Perro, whoever fights for that WBO title or gets the next mandatory at Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall 2 winner, is going to have to face Liam Perro. So if we see Teofimo versus Arnold Barboza, I don't think that's going to be a final eliminator, unless we get Teofimo versus Liam. It's too early to say. It's too early to say. But right now, I'm thinking, if my gut is telling me that we're either going to see Teofimo versus Arnold Barboza, or we could possibly see Teofimo versus Jose Ramirez. I don't think Teofimo's going to have an easy road at 140 pounds. At all. On the undercard, you're going to have Xander Zayas. This is what I was talking about earlier on how he's been fighting at 154. He's creeping up on a ranking soon. But he wants to compete at 147 pounds. He's fighting this dude. I did a little bit of looking around at him, but never really heard of him. I can't look at no fights to think that I ever saw. He fought Dmitry Bivol. No decision, no contest. Yamaguchi Falco, but I haven't seen this dude. But for what I've been researching, people are saying he's kind of a test. But basically, this is one of those tests. It's a filler card. He's getting married that week. Okay, gotcha, Dana Jones. That's what's up. All right, that makes sense. All right, so Dana, if it's true, but that sounds like something somebody wouldn't lie about, is that Jose Ramirez and Jose Cepeda are not fighting because because Ramirez is getting married. All right, okay, all right, cool. Duke Reagan on the card. You know, it's a filler card. It's a filler. It's a filler. But what I do want to get your advice on is I want to get your advice on how do you feel about Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. I did a video on it, but it wasn't a live video. Here's Robert Helenius, by the way. 31-3. He's been stopped twice with 20 KOs. 38 years old, the Nordic Nightmare. If he gets knocked out by Wilder, that's some nightmare right there, right? 2 big wins over Adam Kownacki. Adam Kownacki has since lost another fight, a 3rd straight fight, against Ali Demirezin on the undercard of Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez. Now, this is when I thought it was over for Robert Helenius, when he lost to the likes of Jared Washington. A guy of the pedigree of Robert Helenius should not be losing to Gerald Washington. That's the worst loss of his career. He lost to Dylan White, lost to Johan Duhaupas, and I thought the Duhaupas joint was bad at that time too. He had that controversial win over Derek Chisora. He had some shoulder injury issues and some promotional issues from, I'm going to say, about 2012 all the way up until about 2016 or so. He had promotional issues and injury issues. You know, he was being touted as being like a really good dude. But the problem I have with it is this. I really like the fight. It's supposed to be here. Let me pull up the article. It's supposed to be on PBC on Fox pay-per-view in October. We first heard some trickling of rumors about the fight about a month or so ago. I believe I did like my first video. But the problem I have is I am just not a fan of fighters fighting sparring partners, especially on pay-per-view. Like, it's not like you have to spar once or twice. Like, he was in his camp. Like, and I understand fighters being in each other's camps, but he's been like a well-known Deontay Wilder sparring partner for years now. So it's supposed to be on PBC on Fox pay-per-view. Expect for it to be $74.99. Expect for them to be lead-in prelims on Fox Sports or regular Fox. And that's the only time seemingly Fox is doing any type of shows on regular TV, as if it's like a prelim to a pay-per-view. Of course, Wilder lost 2 straight fights to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's horned himself out to try to fight the dude who punched Teofimo in the chest, the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Been trying to get a fight with Chisora. Tyson Fury, let me tell you something. Thanks for the super chat. Was that Optimus? I don't know why it didn't pop up. Well, thanks for the super chat, bro. No, I like the fight. I like the fight. I like the fight. I like the fight. For a comeback fight for Deontay Wilder. And remember, he's coming off of 2 wins over Adam Kownacki. I like the fight, but it's just that he's a sparring partner. Oh, and also it's supposed to take place in Brooklyn in the Barclays Center. But how would you rate this fight, though? On a scale of 1 to 10, in the chat, let me know on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this fight? I'm going to rate it. It's not an 8. That's too close to a 9, which is close to a 10. I'm giving it a 7. It's a low 7, but I'm giving it a 7. And yes, I'm afraid that I don't think Helenius is going to take a dive. But remember what happened the last time Deontay Wilder fought a known sparring partner. He fought Malik Scott. And Malik Scott, being from Philly, Malik Scott broke my heart. I think Malik Scott took a dive. I think Malik Scott took a dive, and I'm not the only one. Then lock me up. Now, I'm guessing it's expected for the winner of Deontay Wilder versus, and remember, this next fight I'm talking about is also on PBC on Fox too. It's safe to say that the winner of Wilder versus Helenius, especially if it's Wilder, is going to fight the winner of Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz, which is taking place on September the 4th, which is a Friday. So you got September the 4th. Andy Ruiz taking on Luis Ortiz, PBC on Fox pay-per-view. You have Abner Maris taking on, Miguel Flores. The card is down below in the description box. Let me see. You got Isaac Cruz taking on Eduardo Ramirez, Abner Maris taking on Miguel Flores, and Jose Rayo Venezuela taking on Jezreel Corrales. I like that card. Then on October the 15th, also on Fox, you have Deontay Wilder taking on Robert Helenius. So I'm guessing sometime in April, we can see Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz. And maybe this is PBC trying to leverage a new contract with Fox to be like, all right, look, we'll give you Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder on pay-per-view, because their contract is supposed to be up with Fox. This is well known. It's supposed to be up with Fox at the end of this year. And it's been rumored for a long time that Fox wasn't happy with the quality of shows that PB was putting on their regular platform. Remember, they cut some really, really good build-up content and shoulder content. I really like PBC face-to-face. Like when they would sit down, the one with Jamel Charlo and Tony Harrison was epic. I really miss those, and the one with Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, when he asked Luis Ortiz, like, are you really the AIDS that you say you are? And, do you got your blood pressure pills? They cut inside PBC boxing. So the PBC Fox deal is in trouble. And that's why you've been seeing a lot of fighters not being able to get dates. And you've been seeing multiple PBC fighters openly talking about how they're not getting dates. For example, you got also Keith Thurman, who's been wanting to come back in October. And he was on the PBC podcast not long ago talking about how the dates keep getting pushed back for him. And to PBC, Keith Thurman is a pay-per-view fighter. He just fought on pay-per-view in February against Mario Barrios. So you would expect for him to come back. It's going to be on pay-per-view. So let's look at the pay-per-view schedule right now. And this is and PBC don't like putting on 2 pay-per-views in a month if they don't have to. So already in September, we got 2 pay-per-views, albeit one is on a lower price. But in September, you got Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz. Then 2 weeks later, a little less than 2 weeks later, you got Canelo versus Golovkin 3. October is supposed to be Wilder versus Helenius. November is supposed to be Spence versus Crawford. December is supposed to be Tank versus whoever. And then they're going to repeat the process. So don't be surprised if you see Thurman out again at the beginning of the year fighting God knows who. A wild card would be able to see Thurman versus Tank Davis. I would bust a nut for that. But I do believe that they're shooting for Wilder versus Andy Ruiz sometime, next year. And that's going to be a big one. And it's some big money for both fighters involved in that, because Andy Ruiz is in a situation where he commands so much money from PBC that his fights have to be on pay-per-view. And that's one thing I don't like about what these promoters and these networks have been doing. More so the promoters, they guarantee these fighters all this money that the fighters can't really generate. So therefore, they make them like, oh, well, let's make the fans pay for it. Put this shit on pay-per-view. That shit trash to me. It's a bullshit, flawed logic. But either way, I'm interested in Wilder versus Robert Helenius. And Robert Helenius does have the skill set to beat Deontay Wilder because he can box. The problem is Robert Helenius don't got no chin. Even if he does get buzzed, he does like crazy little dances. You see what I'm saying? So let's move on to the next topic. And I didn't really get a chance to show the clip. Let me pull the clip up. We are now less than 10 days away for Oleksandr Usyk versus Anthony Joshua. And we don't have a network for the fight. Like, there's no network. No broadcaster here in the States. It's going to be about 27 pounds, about $33 over in the UK on Sky Sports box office pay-per-view. It's going to be on DAZN on other platforms. But here in the States, we don't have it. Look, I just opened up my DAZN. Look, the 20th, nothing's on there. You know what I think they're doing? They're negotiating. I think the Saudis, the Arabs, since they own all of the rights to the fight, I think they want to put that shit on pay-per-view over here. And DAZN is like, yo, please, we can't do that. Fans going to be pissed. I think it's going to be pay-per-view. Think Thurman versus Broner is a possibility? Hell yeah. I mean, everyone feels that, you know, everyone in boxing, you know, who really follows the sport feels that, of course, Keith Thurman is a replacement for Crawford if the Spence Crawford fight doesn't go through. But the DAZN is not doing no type of promotion for Usyk, you know, and it's like, if you throw this shit on pay-per-view, you should be promoting it over here. And the reason why I say, you know, I'm scared they're going to put it on pay-per-view is because over here in the States, we never get midday pay-per-views. And they put Tyson Fury, this was ESPN, our leading sports platform. They put Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte on pay-per-view with that shitty undercard. I watched that bullshit. Oh, of course, I know how to watch the fight for free. They ain't gonna stop me from watching the fight. I'm gonna watch the fight. They better take this fucking money while I got it. They better get these food stamps. Stop playing around. But yeah, here's a clip that was uploaded from Sky Sports earlier from Anthony Joshua.
Mm-hmm. Boom. Yes. Mm-hmm. Boom. Yes. Mm-hmm. Boom. Yes.
So both fighters. Okay, this is the last I checked. And I have it in my little podcast notes here. Pull up my little podcast script book here. So here's what I gathered, right? There's a rumor going around that both fighters are now going to be splitting a $122 million pot. The first person news was reported back in June of 80 million. Now that's ballooned to about 122 million. Joshua signed the deal with the DAZN on June the 13th. But then Sky Sports announced that they would be broadcasting the fight on July the 27th. What if Joshua loses? But as it stands right now, there's no American broadcaster for a fight of this magnitude. Now, don't get it twisted. Listen, they better get this money while they can. I'm gonna watch the fight regardless. But I think it's a tragedy in this day and age that a fight like this, a week out, barely almost a week out, you know, we don't have no type of promotion or build up here in the States. You know? No type of promotion or build up here in the States. And yes, if Joshua was to win, he's got to go to the body. He's got to go to the body.
10.
You know, he fucked up because he was out there trying to outbox Oleksandr Usyk. Wrong. He's got to go to the body. Whenever he's get a chance to get close, he's got to do it. Look, here's a promo.
Sort of discipline. I was looking at my own, looking at double figures, and I happened to end up in a boxing gym, and I got found not guilty, and this is where it's led me now.
I'll be your driver today. Please fasten your seatbelt, sit back, and enjoy the ride.
You believe you can go all the way, don't you?
I'm not saying anything just yet.
He can be cringe though. He can be cringe though. But yeah, we got to see something. By the way, Usyk is bigger. Like when I started covering him, people were like, "Yo, dude ain't this and that." Like, this dude is good. Like, he is a special fighter, and I got him. I'm very close to saying he would beat Tyson Fury too. And one thing about Usyk is there was a quote put out recently about, he knows that Anthony Joshua was working on things. And therefore, he's got a better game plan too. And we know now that there's the potential that he can stop Joshua. We know that that's there. It can happen. We've seen it. Joshua couldn't do nothing with the left hand. He couldn't do nothing with it. And if this dude, like, I'm guessing that's what the message is right there. If he starts sitting down on his punches, he can possibly get Joshua out there, because normally he was known for beating his opponents down and then stopping them. But he may be able to really, like, get AJ out of there, yo. And now, as you can see, look at his weight. That COVID weight did him good. Dude, he's clearly bigger. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to, let me go see. What did he weigh in for the first fight? He weighed in at 221 for the first fight. I don't think he's going to be bigger than that. Don't let it fool you. I don't think he's going to come in any bigger. Maybe 225, maybe 225. I don't see him coming in at a 230. He's about 6'3". I met him in person. He's a legit 6'3". He was in Philly for when Volzdik and Bertabiev. I was at that fight. Like, he's a legitimate 6'3". 19-0 with 30 KOs, like 13 KOs. Like, dude is special. Like, I've seen every single one of his fights. I've seen them all. I went through a binge of all of his fights before his first fight on HBO. What was that? I saw the Glowacki fight. I don't know if it was this fight or Machunu, but basically I was like, yo, dude's got the goods. Dude's got the goods. And he's got the personality without even speaking English. That's a special fighter. But I'm concerned that they're going to hit us with a pay-per-view, like the week of. Like, let that shit settle in. Like, okay, put it this way. If they would have said, listen, it's going to be pay-per-view straight from the gate, I would have been bitching and complaining. I would have been like, fucking shit. But I would have paid for it. I'm still going to pay for it. But it's like, yo, don't hit us with no pay-per-view and boxing fans or for pay-per-view. We just, when we got the first one on regular DAZN, but then you're going to hit us with it on fight week. Like, yo, you got 7 days to pay for this shit. That's a disservice to the fighters, because there's no stateside promotion for a big fight like this. Zero. There is zero promotion over here for this fight. Nothing. That's a fucking crime. For boxing in 2022, I'm getting untethered. See? Boxing can do that to me. I'm thinking like, yo, we're getting no news on this event over here. Nothing. It's a doggone shame. We're better than this. We're better than this. We're better than this. But anyway, what's next on the docket? I'm going to be here on Saturday streaming during the main event of Teofimo Lopez and Pedro Campa. Next week, I'm going to be here streaming during, let's go look at the boxing schedule. In fact, since we're all here, let me pull up the boxing schedule for you young scraps. But basically, we're going to be streaming during the main events of significant fights. We've been doing it for a while. So here's the boxing schedule from Dan Raphael's website, Fight Freaks Unite. Is this Tevin Farmer Mickey Bay fight still happening? This is supposed to be this Friday on Redemption pay-per-view. What the hell is that? Oh shit, it's on Fight TV? Oh, whoa! Oh no! You see this? You see this shit right here? Did you? Wait a minute. No, wait. Let me refresh. That ain't for real. That shit's for real. In 1 day, 5 hours on pay-per-view for $29.99. Former IBF 130-pound champion Tevin Farmer is taking on Mickey Bay on Fight TV. Fight.tv. Let's go watch the preview. Blood. Look at these fucking graphics. Oh no. Oh, these niggas done lost. Oh no. I don't even want to play it. I'm going to play it. And this is not your fault, Fight.tv. We've worked with Fight.tv in the past. We love your platform. I've purchased many fights from Fight.tv. But this is like...
Gloves, blood, sweat, tears, redemption. On August 12th, it's the climatic event of 2022. Live at the Finley Toyota Center, it's Farmer versus Bay. August 12th, get ready to witness the fight of the century. The notorious Tevin Farmer, the sensational Mickey Bay, plus joining them on the card, it's Truck, Golden Boy, and Tremaine Williams. Fighting for redemption, we all join them in glory.
Boxing is a weird sport, man. Why is boxing so weird? Why is boxing so weird? No, Don King shit be worse. I get those emails. Bro, what in the hell is going on? What the hell was that? I'll be here Friday, likely covering that fight for anyone who wants the post-fight results. So yeah, as you can see, August, you know, the Usyk Joshua card, you got Felix Hergovitz versus Zhali Zhang, Callum Smith versus a Matthew Brodelic, Badu Jack versus a Richard Rivera, Ramla Ali versus a Crystal Garcia, Andrew Tabiti versus Tyrone Spong. Whoa, I like that. That's got my attention. Also, I forgot about Emmanuel Navarrete returning against Eduardo Baez. That's going to be on ESPN. Giovanni Santillan. That's not the same Giovanni from a few weeks ago, is it? Nico Ali Walsh is on that joint. As we talked about, Broner Figueroa, August the 20th. Puello versus Akhmedov. Roger Gutierrez versus Hector Garcia for that WBA. Remember, Hector Garcia is the one who got the upset over Chris Colbert. Brandon Lee is on there. Sergiy Lipinets and Rasheed Warren. Man, look at this card. I guess they got to keep these guys busy, huh? So you have Rasheed Warren, Sergiy Lipinets, Brandon Lee, Roger Gutierrez, Hector Garcia, Puello Akhmedov on Broner versus Figueroa. All right. All right. What's the week after that? Okay, so basically, August the 27th, this is kind of a career match. This is a top rank on ESPN's next event after the one this week. You got Jose Pedraza taking on Richard Comey. That's kind of a career match, right? That's kind of a career match. You know, Jared Big Baby Anderson taking on, I guess that's a, you know, showcase fight. F.A. Jagba returns. Okay, Tiger Johnson, they put him back on that joint. This KSI bullshit card, I'm not covering that shit. Maybe I'll cover it for the money grab, even though I don't know who any of these people are. And then, of course, I told you about the Andrew Ruiz card, September the 4th. But we do have to talk about this, though. And I'm so glad that it's happening. The WBA denied Matchroom Eddie Hearn's and Joshua Buatsi's request to fight Dmitry Bivol, to keep it in-house. So Dmitry Bivol has to defend his WBA title against WBA mandatory challenger Gilberto Ramirez. Gilberto is a Golden Boy fighter. Bivol currently is working with Matchroom. But they're both on the same broadcaster. Now, Buatsi, there was some rumors of him versus Sean Pascal. Put it this way. What would you rather see? It makes sense. And the WBA is in a situation where they have to unify those bullshit belts and they have to make sure their mandatories get their shots because they're facing like some real sanctions, you know, and basically getting close to being kicked out of the sport for all their bullshit belts and all the bullshit they've been up to the last decade and a half or so. So Gilberto Ramirez and Dmitry Bivol, that's a fight that needs to happen. Now, who I think is going to win? That's a hard fight because Ramirez can box and he's got the size. He can actually box. He's not some guy that's going to be going out there just throwing some wild punches. But being honest, it's a 50-50 fight. But my gut is telling me, and I like Bivol, and yeah, Bivol beat Canelo, but I got Gilberto Ramirez and David Benavidez beating Canelo. That's just me. You know, and no, it's not because I'm black. I am half Mexican, half black, and half Irish. So you don't bring that shit to my channel. You know, like I support all of our Mexican brothers in boxing, and all our black brothers too, and all our Irish brothers. But I do feel that Gilberto Ramirez can beat Canelo. So therefore, in my logic, I feel that, and he's a southpaw. And I feel like Gilberto Ramirez may have enough boxing ability, especially with the size, you know, to outbox Dmitry Bivol, who would have to take a lot of risk getting in on the inside. 20-0 with 11 KOs. Bivol is faster with better feet. But I just think that Zurdo will be able to keep him away with the jab. Like, Zurdo can box. However, Zurdo did have issues with Jesse Hart. I like Jesse Hart, but Zurdo shouldn't have had those issues that he had with him that first fight. We talked about Taylor versus Poinsett. Taylor will likely vacate, and then it'll be Poinsett versus Matias. We talked about that earlier. But yeah, that's the news that's what's going on with Gilberto Ramirez with Dmitry Bivol. And frankly, I'm not too high on Joshua Buatsi. If I'm really, really being honest, he's good, but I don't see Joshua Buatsi being like, you know, like I don't see him being great, if that makes sense. Like I don't see him being like a dominant champion. Maybe he'll be able to win a belt, but I don't see him being able to be a defending champion. You know, I don't see it. I don't see it. Artur Beterbiev is supposed to be fighting Anthony Yarde. I don't know if the rumor was true that Beterbiev had a little injury, but they're supposed to be fighting. By the way, Frank Warren won a purse bid for Joshua Buatsi to fight Caleb Johnson for the British title, but I don't think it's going to happen. Weird. Yeah, there's in a WBA WBA World at 175. But yeah. But that's still, but John Ryder is still the man. Wait, no, John Ryder's at 168. I was getting confused. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be here tomorrow for the Lopez versus Pedro Campa weigh-in. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to be here on Saturday covering some fights. And if Tevin Farmer's fighting Mickey Bay tomorrow, fuck it. I might come up with the $30. You know, I might go, you know, sell off some of my food stamps to buy the fight. But I'm getting up out of here, guys. I got some things to do. And also I've been working out every day now. So my body's killing me and I got to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning to cover some boxing, do some videos and do my podcast. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'm T Street Controversy with FightView360. I will see you guys tomorrow.